Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special live edition of the Officer Nate podcast. Joining me this morning is Stu and Cathy Scheller, parents of Lieutenant Colonel Scheller with the United States Marine Corps, who is currently in the brig for going online and demanding a few answers for what is now the catastrophe in Afghanistan that we've all had questions that we'd like answers to. And here today with me to discuss some of that is Stu and Cathy Scheller. How are you folks this morning?
We are good.
We're fine. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
You bet. Things have been probably quite the whirlwind for you.
Well, this isn't how we thought we were sliding into retirement. I'll tell you that right now.
So at least you're not missing work to have to do all of this, right?
No,
well, maybe a little bit. We still have a couple of businesses, so yes, we are juggling a lot of things right now.
Oh man, well, I certainly appreciate you taking the time to join me this morning. I watched Lieutenant Colonel Scheller's video, and I could not have been more proud to be sort of an advocate and a supporter of our military. I've always had the utmost respect for our military members, but for him to do what he did in the position that he was in, being a lieutenant colonel, and he even admitted himself that he was risking a lot and sticking his neck out by saying the things that he had to say and posting it online. Now, I understand that as of last night, you haven't been able to see him or speak with him.
No, we have not seen him or spoken with him. The very first day that he was arrested, we were able to speak with him for, 90 seconds, 2 minutes. He basically said, I've been arrested, call my attorney and tell everyone. And I didn't have to hear that twice.
Yeah.
So apparently his father talks a lot too, and I didn't even know that. We have told everyone that we can. I mean, I'm smiling, but this might be the first day I've been able to smile a little bit. We had a little bit of good news. He was going for the encouraging news. It's not great news, but it's encouraging news. He was having his preliminary hearing yesterday on Thursday, and we fully expected them to bring the wrath of the full military force down on him with charges. And the fact that so many of our U.S. representatives have come forward, I believe at this point, 36 of them have signed a letter asking them not to bring charges. We're hoping that we can rally and get more people to call their representatives and get more signatures on that letter. This is the time is now to stand up for America. It doesn't really matter if you're Democrat or Republican. At this point, we are Americans, and this is a travesty of judgment. It's horrid. This isn't how you treat your war heroes for speaking the truth.
Absolutely.
That's the point. It was the truth. And as my husband's always saying, it's truth to power. He was speaking the truth. And so he will have another hearing, I believe, on Tuesday. But no, we've not been able to see him or speak to him. Certainly charges weren't brought, but charges certainly weren't dropped. He's still in the brig. He's still in solitary confinement. He still has no phone privileges or visitor privileges other than his attorney.
That's insane to me. Now, I wasn't a military guy. I didn't serve, and I don't quite understand how the military judicial process works. I'm familiar with how it works as far as civilians are concerned, but he made a video and he was demanding answers. It's not like he's a national security threat. It's not like he was leaking classified information, but he's in the brig in solitary confinement with no phone privileges.
Yeah, I tell people he's not a murderer. He hasn't sexually offended anybody. He hasn't done drugs. He posted on Facebook.
He's been an exemplary Marine, 17 years. The tip of the spear, out infantry in the sand, catching the bad guys, protecting his men and women. He is still he's fought for them, and he's put his life on the line for them many times. What I say is he's now putting his livelihood on the line.
Yeah.
It makes sense to us. What doesn't make sense to the rest of America, if you understand his moral fiber, his courage, and his ability to stand strong, it makes sense to us. It doesn't mean that it's easy to watch sometimes. And we have gone from extremely proud to devastated and just a roller coaster of emotions. But we stand with him. We're going to bring awareness to the American people. I, for one, am absolutely surprised and shocked that our judicial system is, well, as our government system, as far as we started 30 days ago contacting our state reps and calling, just my husband and I, and we are surprised at how far we have gotten with just the two of us starting all those days ago, from calling out for help from the American people.
The American people have rallied. Our message 2-3 days ago was find your voice, stand up, and demand accountability. We've also asked everyone to pray, and there is no doubt in our mind that those prayers, the ultimate judge is watching and choreographing this entire ordeal.
Yes.
But we asked people to contact their congressman, and they have. And we're asking them to continue because this is not over. He's still in jail. It's still uncertain. His attorney this morning, again, lowered our expectations that he could be in jail for a very long time. So it's nothing final yet. So, you know, I've asked people, remind your congressman that in 2022, there will be another call for action from Americans to vote. What say you? Are you for Lieutenant Colonel Scheller, or are you against? This is no time for fence sitting.
Right. Yeah, no, that's an excellent point. That's something that I've been urging my followers to consider very strongly as we approach 2022. We need the right people in office. We need a complete overhaul of Congress, in my opinion. But I think it's amazing that you've had the American people rally around you like they have, with the donations and the phone calls. And that's what I've encouraged people to do as of yet, is to make those phone calls. I know there's a lot of people that don't really get involved in stuff like that, but like you said, it's not the time to be complacent. We can't allow this to stand. We can't just brush this off. I understand that being a military member, there are certain expectations and certain standards. But as far as Lieutenant Colonel Scheller, it's not like this was just some flippant video where he was being disrespectful and criticizing his leaders. This is something, the things that he said, everybody agrees with, at least most people agree with, and most people want those same answers. And I could tell from his demeanor and even by his own words that these are things that have been eating at him for a very long time. And it was heartbreaking to see his demeanor in that video.
It was personal. It was very personal for him. So those same weapons that we just left, and those Black Hawk helicopters that we just left, I'm just going to give you a quick story. One of his deployments, Black Hawk helicopter, crashed up on a mountain in the middle of, I'm sure it was Iraq or Afghanistan. I get the tours confused in my mind. So the powers that be said, you and a group of men have to go up there, take some body bags with you, go up there, retrieve all of the weapons, retrieve the bodies, blow up the helicopter. We cannot leave that technology or our weapons for our enemies.
Right.
So they had to hike up there. They discovered the weapons were melted to the helicopter. Of course, the fire is so intense that now all the enemies know where they are as well. So they had to put a call in because they couldn't get the weapons out. They had to put a call in and wait hours for the Pentagon to say, it's okay, you can just blow up the Black Hawk. By then, it's nighttime.
It's cold.
It's freezing cold on the mountain.
Yeah.
They do not have supplies with them because they were just hiking up and back down. They're also sitting targets. I don't know the whole story. I'm telling you the story as a part of it that I know, because he's never told his mommy his war stories. I've heard bits and pieces as he's talked to other people or to his brothers. But so I'm just paraphrasing. And so if anyone was there and I have it wrong, I apologize. But they had to spend the night and sleep in body bags because they were so cold. Then they had to get up the next morning, get whatever remains of people they could, blow up the helicopter, and hike down the mountain. So when you've done something like that and you've risked your life, leaving those weapons behind, it's very personal.
Yes.
It's personal. So it's negligent. It's negligent. And he has had to put his life on the line and that's why he's so highly decorated, to save military members underneath him. And I've always told people, no one wants it to be their son in there or their daughter. Right. But if you have an 18, 19, 20-year-old going into the infantry, you want our son as their leader because he's smart, he's strategic, he would not put them in harm's way. He will find the safest way possible to get them out alive. And if there's a problem, he's going to die with them.
Yeah.
So it's personal.
Yes.
And it's also personal because the accountability was so important. We have lost over 7,000 military members, service people in the 20-year war. We have lost between 30 to 100 because the data gets construed. 30,000 to 100,000 suicides. I want
service members.
Let that number sink in. And he did a lot with suicide prevention. He has a 50-acre farm. He opened it up through a hero organization so people from all military branches could come in and talk about their experiences to help them get it out, to support each other, to prevent suicides. He did podcasts teaching young people that were leaving the military, follow your dream, be an entrepreneur. So when they got out, they had a purpose to prevent suicides. He knew that when accountability was not offered by our senior leaders, that there would be suicides that day. And, you know, you just see so much of this. It was personal.
Yeah. Well, and so this is incredible to me. He's been in the Marine Corps for 17 years. Is that right?
Yes.
And as you said, the incident or the event that you just described is just one of many, right?
Yeah.
One of thousands.
Yeah. It's thousands of life-threatening incidents that he's been involved in. He's made incredible sacrifices abroad, but then to come home and to help other service members, other veterans, and other people the way that he does. And now we're throwing him in jail for his trouble. Right. All because he asked a few questions and demanded some accountability from the leadership whose decisions resulted in the disastrous situation in Afghanistan. I don't think he's unjustified, even if his agreement that he signed with the military prevents him from speaking out in ways like that. This is something important that needs to be discussed. And I applaud him and respect him and admire him for sticking his neck out the way that he did. Does he has a family of his own, correct? He has wife and kids?
Yes. 3 sons.
Okay.
Young sons.
And how are they doing with all of this?
Mama Bear is doing what all military wives do. She's protecting her children.
Yeah.
So she's staying home with the children. She homeschools them. They're young. They just think dad's off on another deployment.
Okay.
And we're being the voice for him.
Well, that's great of the both of you to do that. I can't even imagine what his wife must be going through, you know, mentally and emotionally at this point.
Her entire world has been turned upside down, I'm sure. But I'm going to move on and keep them out of this, if you don't mind, as she and I have.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I just wanted that general information just so that people are aware.
Keep your prayers for his family. I will ask that of your audience.
Yes, absolutely. And this goes much deeper than just Lieutenant Colonel Scheller, although he's the one who's sitting in solitary confinement right now, but he has loved ones all around him who are thrown into this tailspin, in the wake of all of this. What are his official charges? I'm curious.
They have not placed official charges on him yet. We've heard a few rumblings. One of them, he's not been officially charged, but one of them is conduct unbecoming of an officer and a gentleman. I would like to laugh in the face of that one.
We'd like to drop those charges on General Milley, who was disrespecting President Trump per his testimony this week.
Yeah.
We'd like to see General Milley spend about 5 days in jail, be strip searched and put in isolation, because it's hypocrisy and it's a double standard. If it's good enough for our son, it should be good enough for that general.
Unbelievable. Yeah, the hypocrisy and the lack of, and that's why he made the video, was the lack of accountability in the upper echelons of the hierarchy of leadership in the military and in the United States government.
Well, I think the generals have proved his point this past week. They've shown their arrogance. They've shown their stubbornness. They've disappointed millions of Americans. And that's the part that I know hurts us. I know hurts Stuart. Let me tell you, Stuart is proud of the United States Marine Corps. Yeah. As parents for 17 years, we have been proud of the United States Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And to watch these generals. So, you know what? I said to somebody the other day, there's no doubt in my mind that the Marine Corps could win this battle against Lieutenant Colonel Scheller.
He's one
They
person.
are bringing the power to bear down on one man, a lieutenant colonel. So they will win the battle, but they are losing the war. The war, the American people are not going to stand for it. And the war, in losing the war, they're going to lose recruitment. They're losing credibility.
Across the world.
They're losing their reputation. We have people writing us from Sweden, from France, from England, from Australia, standing up for Stu, saying, we can't believe we're watching this hero be treated this way by his military. So the military leadership, the Secretary of the Navy, the Commandant of the Marine Corps, they're destroying the reputation. And I say, please stop.
Yeah.
You may be correct. You may win this battle, but come on, you're hurting America and Americans. Breaks my heart.
Well, it's heartbreaking for all of us, especially to see how convoluted things have become in our country, where a certain portion of our government leadership takes to praising and protecting and defending criminals, yet a hero such as your son is thrown in jail for daring to just ask a few simple questions, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, especially when there's so many Americans, like I said before, who are demanding some answers. Why did we do it this way? Why did we leave people behind? Why were 13 military members left to die in Afghanistan? Those are questions that I think we all want answers to.
And that is...
Well, we didn't get them in front of Congress, did we?
But our point is, we are going to get to speak to our son again, eventually.
Yeah.
And we're going to get to see him again. But let's all remember there are 13 families, husbands, wives, daughters, children, parents. They're never going to see and speak to their child again.
So we would ask America to continue to pray for those families, please.
And let's lift them up. And we're asking people to please donate, if you can, to our son, his family, the legal expenses and the cost of living expenses for them throughout this, because this could end, this could go on. They could hold him in jail, in prison, until they decide to court-martial him. It could be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 18 months. It's up to them when they want to make this happen. They could drag it out forever. And that site is pipehitterfoundation.org. And then you hit the tab for Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Scheller to donate.
Yeah, there's a direct link at the bottom of your screen that you see scrolling across the ticker that you can
Thank
also.
you,
yeah, you bet. Legal fees can eat up those funds very quickly. I'm sure you've probably figured that out by now.
He has a great team through Pipe Hitter Foundation. I think this is the team that represented Eddie Gallagher, the Navy SEAL. He picked his lawyer. We did not. So
we have a lot of confidence in them. And again, I said it at the beginning of this podcast. We would again like to thank, and I look forward to shaking his hand, Louis Gohmert, who took the time. Here's a congressman from Texas that was so moved that he took the time to intervene. I searched him last night. I understand he's an attorney by training. Mm-hmm. He went to help facilitate a positive discussion between the Marine Corps and Stuart and his legal team. And we were told it was amazing, it was positive, but we don't have anything yet. So we still have to ask American to step up.
And right now is the crucial time.
Yeah.
While they're considering their options, now is the time. They're hoping that it was just going to go away, and they didn't count on us, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely not. Well, yeah, and like you said, time is of the essence. We need to put the pressure on them now before they make a decision, so that they make the right decision. And that's excellent that Representative Gohmert actually made the trip down there. Hopefully, we can encourage more members of Congress to do the same thing. So, for those of you watching and listening, call your representatives, call your senators, make a donation. Mr. and Mrs. Scheller, what else can people do?
Pray.
Prayer is powerful.
Okay. And I've got a lot of people in the comments wondering how they can get in touch with you. And from what I understand, you guys are being bombarded with messages and phone calls and emails, and it's probably becoming overwhelming.
Yes, but we're doing our best to respond to all of them. began as an organic movement through Facebook, of course, because of a post on Facebook. Isn't that just insane when you think about it? So I'm in my off time when we're not doing interviews, I'm really trying to respond to people on Facebook. Facebook has responded with blocking me from getting new friends several times, and played a lot of games with taking a lot of my posts down. And so I just keep playing the game. But the other people that are on there are amazing at spreading information. Just keep trying. I will eventually try to friend you back. And
understand if you do reach us by text or email, please be patient with us. We're holding up as best we can. We may not reach out to you for days or weeks because our priority and our focus right now is rallying America and freeing our son.
Yeah. Well, and I think the best thing to do right now for you guys and for Lieutenant Colonel Scheller is to reach out to the members of Congress and demand that he be released. This is something that I believe probably could be cleared up with a simple phone call from the president, I imagine, if he were so inclined.
I'm sorry, the who?
Yeah. Well, the person currently occupying the White House. Let's put it that way.
All right. That would make sense.
It would make it so nice, and this whole thing could just go away.
I will tell you, Stuart's legal team has requested that the hearing Tuesday be open to the public. Maybe that's something America should also ask their representatives to ask for. So we are traveling from Ohio to North Carolina this weekend. We will be there. We hope to get to see our son on Tuesday. Again, we've been told he still may not be released from prison unless there's a settlement or something done this weekend. But we're going to be there, and we hope to get to see him on Tuesday. If it's an open hearing. If it's not
an open hearing, we will not get to.
And do you by chance have the address or the location for where that's going to take place? If it does,
it's on Camp Lejeune base. So
in North Carolina, in the brig.
It's in Jacksonville, North Carolina, Camp Lejeune. I don't know. I'm sure they have, legal office buildings there.
Well, I'll definitely keep in touch, and that's something that I would like to potentially fly out for. If that's open to the public, and if there's
when we will know. So again, Nate, write your congressman and ask him if you can attend that public meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. And for everybody else watching and listening.
Yes.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Scheller, I know that you guys are busy. You probably have a bunch of other interviews scheduled today.
We do.
So I will let you go so that you can maybe have a chance to breathe and relax before your next one. But I really appreciate you coming on with me today. If there's anything that I can do further in the future for you, please don't hesitate to let me know. And for those of you watching and listening, again, the site where you can donate to Lieutenant Colonel Scheller's cause is scrolling there on the bottom of your screen. Call your senators, call your representatives. Let's make your voice heard. We can't stand for this. Mr. and Mrs. Scheller, thank you both again.
God bless America.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.